Hello, everybody. Hope you're all having a great day. So today I'm going to be talking about one simple strategy that when you implement it can help boost your energy and keep you on track with any other kind of, healthy habits that you've been trying to develop to feel better and to just basically get on track with your health. So if you are joining me live or if you're coming for the replay, thanks so much for joining. Give me say hi, give me a wave, and pop any of your questions in the chat as we're going along. So today is, September 9th. And, the beginning of this week, I was trying to think to myself, what would probably my audience, you all, be struggling with the most right now? What would be something that, that I could help you with easily? What could we talk about on this live today? And, the thing that came to mind is the fact that we're going through a change of seasons right now. And even if you are living in a warmer part of the country, I have friends down in Florida. I know there's people from Florida who follow me on here, in Texas, California. I know that your climate is a little bit different, a lot different from what we have in Rhode Island. And even in Rhode Island, I think it's supposed to be, like 85 degrees tomorrow. It's going to be a beach day. It's going to be pretty awesome. We're still in summer, but we are in a change of seasons just in terms of the way that our days are structured, or at least for many of us. If you are going back to school, if you work in education, or if you have kids that are of school age, then you know what I'm talking about. Back to school time, it's kind of, it can be kind of tumultuous. There's a lot going on, a lot of schedule changes. And, these are the types of things, these kind of like changes that are happening in our lives are the types of things that can tend to make us kind of fall off of any kind of healthy habits that we've been developing, like exercise, like eating well, for instance, like even like stress management strategies you might have been putting in place, like morning meditations and things like that. It's really easy when we have a change of our schedule, whether it's in terms of back to school time, or if it's, the days getting shorter and the daylight that we have available changing to us, or even obviously, as everyone knows and probably realized from this summer, is, going on a vacation somewhere. It can really kind of mess with your schedule and, get you a little bit off track of the, just daily behaviors or daily habits that you want to have happen in your life. So I was thinking, what could be the number one thing that you could focus on and that we could kind of strategize about a little bit today. And I think that one thing is morning routines. And I hope that doesn't feel boring to you. It's actually pretty exciting to me. Basically kind of carving out a little bit of space in the morning to do something that's going to nourish you both mentally and physically. So that's what we're going to talk about for a bit today. And before I go on, real quick, if you are new here, my name is Jen Costanza. I'm an integrative nutrition health coach, and I help women who are struggling with burnout and the health impacts of burnout, which tend to kind of revolve around feeling sluggish, low energy, and gaining weight, often or in large part as a result of being under chronic stress for quite some time. So morning routines, it's actually one of the things that I try to work on with my clients, is developing some kind of a morning routine. Now, first, I want to say, when you think about a morning routine, you probably already have some kind of routine to your mornings, right? You have specific things that you do every day without too much thought, because you made the decision at some time in the past that, this is what I do in the morning. And it's kind of like non-negotiable. You always do it. If I asked you, what is like one thing that you do in the morning that without a doubt you always do? If you're watching, give me an idea in the chat. What I would come up with is brushing your teeth. I would say pretty much all of us, we brush our teeth in the morning. It's just one of the things you do while you're getting ready for your day, whatever your day is going to look like, whether it's a weekend day or a day off or a work day, you're going to brush your teeth, right? And part of the reason why we always brush our teeth, like I said, it's a decision that we made in the past that this is something that we're going to do. And so one of the things when it comes to creating let me modify this, like a healthy, nourishing morning routine is making some clear decisions in advance about what that routine is going to entail. Or maybe I should backtrack a little bit and just say, why would we even create a morning routine in the first place? And I'll give you a couple big reasons. One is having decided in advance what you do in the morning, making those decisions in advance, it cuts down on decisions that you have to make in the spur of the moment when you wake up. And that can actually decrease a lot of stress. It can, decrease overwhelm because we already know what we're doing. We don't have to think about it, right? A second thing is that our morning tends to set the tone for the rest of your day. And I'm sure that many of you have noticed that in the past, that if you have a solid morning, like just taking example, if you have a really solid morning where you're having a good breakfast, it's more likely, like if you ate a healthy breakfast, it's more likely that you're going to continue to eat healthfully throughout the rest of your day, right? If you skip breakfast, a couple of things can happen. You end up eating crap at like 11 o'clock in the morning. You're starving, you have low energy, whole kind of cascade of other things that you don't want to happen can happen. So having some good habits in place in the morning that, or maybe put it this way, having behaviors or practices set in stone for the morning that are all about self-care, you taking care of your body, you taking care of your mind, is going to set you up to be able to have a healthier day just in general. And that's, it kind of goes back to this issue of like staying on track with whatever healthy habits that you might have been working on, or even developing new healthy habits if that's where you're at. A morning really is a great place to start, starting strong. So the other thing I want to say about a morning routine, when it comes to self-care and particularly the emotional and the mental part, having some space in the morning that is just for you. And I'm talking about I know that you're really busy. I know you've got a ton on your plate and some of you are really just holding it together, but having some space in the morning, even if it's just 10 minutes to yourself, it can often, and I've seen this in myself and I've seen this in my clients too, it can make a really big difference in your emotional state and in the stress that you feel throughout your day. And those 10 minutes or whatever amount of time that you have, it can be filled with whatever it is that is going to really nourish you. You have to decide that for yourself. I can't decide that for you, of course. But so maybe now would be a good time to kind of switch and think about what could actually go into a morning routine, like a healthy morning routine that's going to set you up for a healthy day where you're staying on track with eating well, with treating your body well, and also with kind of not feeling so much overwhelm and not being super stressed out, or just being like a little bit less stressed than you normally are. So here are some ideas. So for some people, maybe taking a walk in the morning, a walk around the block, however much time that you have. If it's, that's kind of can usually be easy this time of year. When it gets darker out, if you don't like walking in the dark or it kind of freaks you out, if you're able to do something indoors, where you're moving your body, that can be really great. Like doing a short, yoga routine in your house. I had a client who had a treadmill. She didn't want to go walking outdoors during the winter. But she ended up developing a habit in the morning of just going for a walk on her treadmill and, listening to whatever she loved to listen to on. And that really worked out for her. So those are, a couple ideas, is doing something active for a minute, for a given amount of time that you have available to you, getting your blood moving. Knowing that I've kind of been on and off with this personally. If you've been following me for a while, you know that, a while ago, I was kind of posting every single day in my stories about walks I was taking in the morning. But, as the seasons change, sometimes I like to change things up in the morning. And actually, it's something I want to get back into, is doing my morning walks. But where was I going with this? Getting in some kind of activity in the morning can be really great, because if you are trying to stick to having an exercise routine, at least you did something. If you go for a walk in the morning, or if you did your yoga routine or whatever you did in the morning, if you did something, even if it was just for 10 or 15 minutes, you did it. And then if you're not able to, whatever it is, do the bigger thing that you wanted to do later in the day, like go to the gym or whatever it is, at least you can take comfort and pride in knowing that you did something to move your body. Some other ideas, could be free writing, or journaling, depending what you want to call it, that first thing in the morning. Doing a meditation, whether it's sitting by yourself, just in, paying attention to your breath, or doing some kind of guided meditation. And I've talked about this so many times on here, but there's a load of apps out there with morning guided meditations on them that are really great, and quite a lot of them are free. So that's another idea, just like being able to carve out some space for yourself. When it comes to some other healthy behaviors, having breakfast. I'm not a practicer of, fasting, for instance. If you are somebody who's deliberately fasting as part of like keto or something like that, then you can maybe put the suggestion to the side. But otherwise, having breakfast as part of your morning is, I think it's kind of like a no-brainer. And it's something that you can do for yourself to make sure that you have energy to move through your day. So for instance, I had a client who, she didn't have time to exercise in the morning. She wasn't super, at least when we were working together, she wasn't super into journaling, but she started making smoothies in the morning, smoothies that, had the type of ingredients that I'm always talking about on here, like making sure that she had protein in the morning, making sure she was getting fiber and color in those smoothies, and actually making it and sitting down at the table and having, a solid 10 or 15 minutes to herself without any kind of distractions, to just be able to breathe and, to have some time that's hers and not part of the workplaces. And to be, obviously nourishing her body with good food at the same time. That was, for her, that was kind of like a real game changer, and, gave her some structure to her mornings, made her feel like she had space to herself, that everything in her day wasn't taken up by work. So that's another thing I would suggest, is having, making sure that you have space carved out in your morning to have a solid breakfast, a healthy breakfast that's going to energize you throughout the day. So I could probably think of a lot more things. I wrote a long blog post on this a while back. But when we're thinking about a morning routine, sometimes it might require getting up a little bit earlier. And, you have to decide for yourself if you are ready to make that commitment. Even it might be just like getting up 15 minutes, a half hour earlier. I honestly believe that it can be worth it if you are in the position where you're just really wanting to stay on track with healthy behaviors. If you're in a position where you want to kind of start changing your life and feeling better about your body and about your mind, both inside and out, having a solid morning routine where that you don't even think about, it's just things that you do. There's no debate, am I going to do this today or am I not going to do this today? I'm just going to do it. Having that as part of your day can just be kind of a game changer, to be honest. Especially if you're at the point also where you feel like you've kind of been off track. And it's funny, I was just, chatting with somebody about this a few minutes ago that, during the pandemic, a lot of us got off track with healthy behaviors, whether that meant, starting to drink a lot more soda, starting to drink a lot more alcohol, not exercising as well. If you are like a lot of people, if you're kind of feeling like you're in that boat of wanting to just start to kind of like break out of that, focusing on your morning time can be a really easy, simple place to start and just get that figured out first and then move on to the next, baby steps. So summing up, you might have to get up a little bit earlier. So that's going to take a teensy bit of work. You should decide what you want to have be your morning routine. Whether it's, moving your body, whether you're going to set time aside to read or to write or to draw or to, do a guided meditation. Decide what works for you, what feels like is going to work. And if you're having problem making that decision, it doesn't have to be permanent. I think one other thing that I've been having on my mind lately is I felt like personally that I've gotten off of a good morning routine I was on for a while. And I was thinking, I need to get back on it. But then at the same time, I'm thinking, do I need to get back on it? Or do I need to sit down, think about how I'm feeling right now with the change of seasons and what time of the year it is and what's going on, and just redecide how I want my mornings to look. Think about what time do I need to get up to make it happen. Think about how much time do I have to dedicate to this kind of like me time. So those are some thoughts about morning routines. I really think this is a great initial, kind of a first step to getting back on track with your health. And if you've had a morning routine and it's starting to, like I've been experiencing, it's starting to kind of like fall apart with the change of seasons, it's September. Now's a great time to just kind of sit, reevaluate and decide where you want to go next. Now that it's fall, schedules are changing. What do you have time for? What's going to really kind of what's going to make you feel good inside? What's going to excite you, give you some motivation throughout the rest of the day, make you feel like you had part of your day that was yours and that it wasn't just all doing things for other people or doing things for work. So I think that's all I have on that topic for today. But if you have any questions about morning routines, or you're thinking about you want to get back onto healthy habits and you're not sure what the first step is and you're not sure if morning routines are, or if it's something else that you should be doing, leave me a comment on the replay or in the chat. Feel free to message me. If you're watching me on Instagram, you can just send me a direct message. If you're watching the replay of this somewhere else, feel free to message me there or send me an email at hello@rooted.life. And one last thing I would mention is that, like I said, this is something that I help clients out with. And it's one of the first things that we kind of talk about is, what are going to be your first steps in kind of rearranging your health and what are, to be able to get to your goals. So if you have been struggling for a while, if you're thinking that now is the time for you to make a change, and in particular, If you're struggling with anything related to, feeling burnt out, if you are feeling a lot of stress, if you've been feeling a lot of stress, if you've been gaining weight and it doesn't seem to be going away, and it's making you, especially if it's making you feel kind of unconfident, if you are, if you're feeling kind of sluggish and you're feeling like you need caffeine to be getting through your days and you don't want to be living like that anymore, this is something that I can help you with. So send me a direct message and we can chat and see if there's something that I can do to help you out. We can see if my coaching program is something that might be good for you. So that's it for today. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day and a beautiful weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.